Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Yoga for Love online healing community. And I am Jamie Ray, and this is Explore the Body. So today we will be doing make sure we got anything set up here, a deeper dive into quads. Releasing anger, moving into trust. So if you saw on Tuesday, we're going to go a little bit further in, and we need the big ball and a noodle ball. And if you got joined before, this is a noodle ball. This is 6 tennis balls in a tube sock. If you do not have one on hand, you can find a roll-up towel or thin blanket, or a pole noodle. Just cut off a section of a pole noodle, and that works really great as well. And the big ball, this is about a 3.5-inch diameter ball. This is a dog toy. This is just a rubber dog toy. You can use a softball, you can use a kid's toy, anything that you have approximately this size. It's bigger than a tennis ball, obviously, which gets a little bit deeper into some of the places that we're going to work. These are the tools that I use every class. So if you want to join my classes, highly recommend. There is a link in the Facebook event, and I have a link to where you can purchase, order this ball. I have it delivered to you for $5 plus some shipping. So super affordable. And then obviously tennis balls and a tube sock. Very doable. So small investment for a really great practice. So let's begin. Let's get on with it, shall we? All right. So coming to our mat, I'm gonna do a little glute opening. Actually, let me adjust. Let's see, I'm cutting myself off here a little bit more. There we go. I think that's good. All right, so we're gonna start with this big ball. We're gonna do a little bit of glute opening to start, just because we're gonna be working up here, and this is the opposite, so it helps to relinquish a bit of control in order to release the anger that we hold in our quads. So we're gonna start the big ball, excuse me, right in the butt cheek, just below the pelvis, and then just inside the sacrum. You were there on Tuesday, I couldn't talk very well. Communication between mind and mouth is not flowing clearly this week. I'm going to do my best. Patience, please. So we're placing that ball right there on the inside of the sacrum, just below that hip, right into those glutes. Taking the same leg, facing the ankle. On the opposite knee, you're supporting yourself with your hands and the opposite leg. You have control of your pressure here. And we're just, we're just breathing. We're allowing that ball to sink in. And surrendering. We're not going to spend a ton of time on the glutes today because it's not our main focus, but we are going to just do a little roll through. And the pattern that I tend to do is I roll right down along the edge of that sacrum, all the way down to the piriformis, and then I come back up around the trochanter and dip into the side of it. Go wherever you feel called, wherever your body is telling you to go. Just listen to your body's wisdom. It will tell you. And we're just pausing at any place that we find lots of tension, a little bit more intensity. And we're breathing. So this is the control zone. As I've mentioned pretty much every class. So we're relinquishing this control. Right side outer world, left side inner world. This is all other people and outside scenarios. Just making our way down to that pure formless. Never on bone, always on muscle, but right up to the edge of the bone and the muscle attachment. And making our way back up along that trochanter. And then a bit into the side seam, so you can kind of tilt and drop that knee down a bit. And get into that side. And then a little review. I like to come back through everything that I've rolled on. See if there's anything that needs a little extra attention. Which I have some right there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and switch sides. Again, this isn't our main focus, so we're just doing quick roll throughs. Switching to the left, again, right into that glute, right near the sacrum, ankle to knee, left side, inner world. And we surrender, we trust. All is going to work out for the best. We are supported. Rolling along that sacrum down towards the pure corners, the sits bones. Taking it out to the edge a bit. Get way up. Down that trochanter. Time to spot. Oh. Making sure we're not taking that tension elsewhere, trying to avoid it. All right, so as we sink into it, we're really keeping that neck loose, the shoulders. Make sure we're not clenching someplace else in the body. Dipping down into the side region here. Quick tour. Ooh, that's hot right there for me today. Release. All right. Okay. I'm going to set that aside for a moment. I'm going to do a little bit of heart opening. Before we flip over to the front side and we work these quads. So we're going to take our noodle ball, a little bit of a gap, not much. Like, in fact, I don't like it to be too big because it spreads too far out, but just a little bit right in the middle to provide some space. to be on either side of the spine and not directly on it. And we're just coming just below that bra strap region, right into the lower heart space. And then we're just going to lie back over it. So you can just come back to the elbows and get it nice and positioned. And then get that tail nice and long and place it onto the earth. And we're just going to lie back. Oh. Lengthen the neck. I'm just going to give it a moment to sink in. The back to become accepting for the heart to surrender to the pressure. And as the muscles start to release and accept it, we're going to begin with a little bit of movement. So up into this heart space, you're going to like to pull the knees up and in towards the chest. Really getting that tail long. And you can control your pressure. The more you pull the knees in, the more you press into the balls. So we're trying to keep this long and keep this long. Try to keep these shoulders drop back. And we're just going to move with it, so gentle rocking side to side. And again, this is what feels good to your body. Everybody is different. So what works for you, what your body is asking for. So it might want you to come up a little higher or go down just slightly lower. But this isn't a heart opening class. So we're not going to spend too much time here. Like the glutes. So you can inch your butt down just slightly and you'll roll the balls up the back a little bit. As it starts to release, I like to apply pressure on the feet, lifting up the butt, and I can roll up and down. I can drop and go side to side. Little pops. Pull the neck long, elongates the spine, and as you roll over the balls, you can get little adjustments in the upper back, which is really nice. So just playing with it as you find those places of tension, pausing and breathing, just doing what feels best. If it's up and moving, if it's dropped and releasing, just being in flow, connecting to places that the balls are addressing. Letting that go. And as we come in up over the scapulas a bit, you might find different positions work better. So arms out or arms up or arms pulled in. Really getting into those rhomboids. Roll through and then let's take this and I'm going to take it into a bit of a V and place it in the upper portion of the back. And then right in between those rhomboids and up to the tops of the shoulders. Lie back over it and press into the heels. Gravity works with you here. And you may have to position a little bit with your hands to find those good spots. And as I press in or lift up, I press in and I can rock gently side to side, getting along those scapula edges. from one side to the other. And the higher I lift, the higher up I'll go. And to get those tops of the traps, you take those arms up and overhead, placing them on the earth, and really pressing into those heels, lifting the buttocks up. And you may have to position yourself a little bit, but those balls will sink into that top portion. And really get those shoulder knots. All right. So again, we're just giving a little opening here, just waking it up a bit. All right. Hi, Sherry. All right, so now we're going to grab our big ball. And what we're going to do here, we're going to come to our bellies. We're going to work right through this region. So just on the inside of this, the hip bone, lower abdominal region. We're going to work right through this inguinal crease, right here, this inner thigh, or where the leg meets the body, right through that inguinal crease, right near the pubic region, right? We're going to work right through there and come down until we come into this top portion. We'll roll down the quad. So come into your belly or your side and find that spot. Ha. I'm just going to take a moment. Let the space become accepting. I like to come up on my elbows. This lengthens this belly because we're getting into the psoas and the iliopsoas in this region. So when we're lifting those ribs up, really elongating this portion. Now as that starts to sink in, I like to lift the same leg with the side that we're working on. So my right leg, lifting that heel. And I'm not straining or anything, it's nice and relaxed and loose. But I can then begin to just gently rock my body. I can press into my elbows a bit. And I can move my hips kind of side to side. I can also move my leg side to side, like moving the heel from left to right. That rolls, right? That rolls that those muscles and bone to find little different angles. Again, my communication flow through. Thank you for your patience with my inability to communicate today. This week, what's up? So we're just inching our way down. You might use your hand to move the ball a little bit, or you can just kind of slide your body up. Just depends on what works best for your space. I start to get into my curtains here, so. We're just rolling through that and coming down. Pausing any place that you find, those extra tight, extra tender spots. You can also take the knees slightly out, and this will help open up that space of that crease, so you can get a little bit deeper in. Roll around, find the spot, pause, release. Really pulling that oxygen down into that space, that place with the ball is pressing into. Ah. Ah. So this is the fear, right? This, the psoas, iliopsoas, this is all restore the fear. So we get the fear on the front, control on the back, right? So our quads are our response to fear. So that's the fight, flight, freeze, fidget, and faint. So that quad muscle, that's the one that, you know, if you were to try to take off, that's what's gonna grip and try to launch you, or it's gonna lock into place and you're gonna freeze, right? Unable to move. All right, we're starting to get towards the top portion of the leg. Kind of still in the inguinal crease, reaching that top portion, but what we notice is if we take the legs slightly inwards, now we're starting to roll towards the top portion of the leg where those hip flexors come into play. So we can start taking it out into the leg a bit. And again, you can adjust with your hand or just with your movement. And as I get into this leg a bit, this is where I'm going to press into my elbows and I can press into my knees. And I can rotate my body, rolling along, rocking side to side. Pausing on any of those knots, really breathing into it. Just keep working your way down. As you get down the leg a bit, you may have to roll just slightly to the opposite side. This is a bit of a core workout simultaneously. We get down a little bit towards the middle, we can just utilize the leg a bit more. This is a more challenging space. Roll down a bit more down. There we go. We start to get into that top portion of the leg, so you can take the leg in and out. Finding those knots of tension. There it is. And surrender. And you might find more tension on slightly outside of the leg or inside of the leg. Really trying to stay kind of between here and here because we're not fully working on that inner thigh or IT band today, even though they're important. And just continuing to make your way down towards that knee, top portion of the knee. You might find a little crunchy, like bands that are like clunk right as you roll over it. Clunk. If you can come right to the edge of that, right before it flunks over, and then let the pressure sink in and pause, you'll feel it release. It's like a melting in. Oh. We're starting to get to the top portion of the knee. We're not going into the knee itself, but just that top section, just before the kneecap. You rotate the foot just slightly, taking the toes medial to the body, right? Turning them inward. You can roll the ball out to the slightly outer edge of those quad muscles. And vice versa. Take the toes out, make it slightly more inward. Just, again, playing with it. Almost done. One more side. Aw. All right. I like to give it a little bit of love, a little bit of a shake. If you had some extra special knots, maybe give them a little massage. Or come back to them and massage them later. All right, left side, same thing, coming into that. Just inside the hip bone. Right into that psoas, iliopsoas region. Again, we're lifting those ribs up, really elongating that belly. Lengthening these muscles that feel in my neck continue to release. And as that starts to sink in, we just start to apply gentle movements, slight rocking left to right, with the leg, furthering that elongation. Maybe shift the hips. Taking the foot in and out. Starting to enjoy that. Moving along that inner hip. Again, taking the knees slightly out, away from the body. Opens the space up a little more as we get deeper, more further down. And just noticing which side is tighter or more tense or feels more intense or more emotional. Just to have that in your awareness. Just noticing and honoring that, recognizing, okay, this is the fear. And fear can hold us back. What are we more afraid of in this moment? Because this can also change, right? It's not that it's a constant. It's just right here, right now. You're feeling it more on the right, more on the left. The outer world is the inner world. All right, starting to get down towards the top portion of the leg, those hip flexors. So we're starting to take it out into this leg region. And this is where you can start to press into the knees and the elbows and lift the body a bit and start to work through that upper portion. Ah. So if you were here on Tuesday, I mentioned this is my, I have a love-hate for this class, for this particular work with the quads, the anger, getting in here tends to make me want to cuss a lot. But I feel a lot better today than I did on Tuesday. I have a lot less anger going on, so it really helped. And I couldn't even pinpoint what I was like about on Tuesday. Just felt it in the body, felt it in the being. We don't always have to pinpoint it. Just recognize it and release it. Honor that it's there. We are human. Making our way down. Again, this is what you can, further down you get. Rotating those hips, slightly lateral to that center line of the muscles, slightly medial. Oh. Ah. All right. Oh, too far. This always makes me drown. I think I got my right side pretty good on Tuesday. Definitely feeling it more on the left today. Oh. And you can play with the leg. Oh, it might be too intense to pull that all the way up. You can play with it and find the happy place. Ah. Feel free to express it, vocalize it. It really does make a difference. It helps. Oh. Oh yes, this one definitely needs more work today. Moving on down towards the top of the knee. Oh. All right, we're almost done. Almost done. That top portion of the knee. So if like the knee is bent, basically as far down as you can go without going over that ledge. I mean, this is a bit of a balancing act, finding that edge of those knots or those ropey sections where it gets intense, and then just balancing right there and allowing that surrender. Oh, oops. All right, almost done. Little final roll throughs. Oh, this is actually also really good. Right through here. Just a little more intensity. Okay. Again, let's show it a little bit of on the side with a shake. All right, let's throw that ball to the side. We're done. Done with that. Oh. All right, so we're gonna come to the belly one more time. We're just gonna take a moment, release the arms, release the legs, just lay flat. Let everything melt in. And we're going to slowly bend the knees, lifting the heels. Oh, we're going to try to not engage too much. Don't engage the butt. Just let the heels come up. We're just resting. Okay. Now we're going to start to lift the chin, lift the chest. The pelvis is pressing into the earth. We're going to take the hands back. We're going to try to grab the feet. And take a moment, just pull, press the pelvis into the earth. Pull the heels towards the buttocks. All right, lifting that chest. Again, we're going to take the feet and we're pressing the feet into the palms. Lift the chest. And release. We're going to repeat that. Really pumping that belly, pumping that breath. So we're really elongating everything on the front side of the body from the knee all the way up to the heart. Technically all the way up through the throat. All right, one more time. Feet in the palms. Start to press the feet into the palms. Pushing, so we're lifting the chest. Nice deep breaths. Then release. So that really works the diaphragm as well, because the pressure of the earth onto the diaphragm. You can release the heels. Now, just placing the hands on the earth, toes turned under. We're going to come up to all fours, pressing up. I'll take a little bit of a free movement here. Whatever feels good to the body. Circling those hips. Just opening it up. Okay. My dog has been sleeping on my mat. So there's like dog hair all over it. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're just gonna pull those ribs up and in. We're gonna step back into a plank. We're gonna inhale the right knee up and in towards the chest. Exhale, step it through, coming into a lunge. All right, now right here, we're going to take a moment and try to level this pelvis. Now, a lot of this is mental, right? So really elongating that back leg. I like to lift the belly just a bit too, right? So I'm trying to get my pelvis nice and even. I'm lifting the chest. I'm going to keep my ankle in front of my knee, so you may need to walk the foot forward just slightly. We've got this back leg nice and long, and we're dropping the pubic bone down towards the earth. Lift that chest. Pubic bone down, keep that knee nice and long as you can. If you reach through that heel a bit, it elongates. And as the pubic bone drops down, really, same thing we've been doing. We're opening up this. We're dropping down, dropping down, dropping down. Now we're going to let the back knee come to the earth. You can take the toes down. We're going to continue this, keeping this chest pulled up, this chin up, and we're dropping the pubic bone down towards the earth. My arm is on the outside of my right knee. So this keeps my knee from dropping out. This also helps keep the pelvis nice and even. So we're continuing to open up. All of this, dropping down. Ha, ha. We can cheat by dropping that knee out to the right. All right. Next move, we're going to walk this front foot over to the left. We're going to drop down into pigeon. And right here, we're going to take the toes under. We're going to reposition and get the pelvis nice and even so you can kind of roll to one side, roll to the other, and find that balance of what feels even. And we're trying to keep it even forwards and backwards, as well as side to side, right? Like up and down. All right, so I like to take a moment and I reach with my heel and drop the thigh down to the earth and then release. All right, so in this position now we're elongating this belly, we're pressing this pubic bone and the hip flexors, right, and the pelvis, like we're pressing that down towards the earth. So we're lifting this ribs up, up. You lift these ribs and do a slight shift, taking the upper body slightly right. Cool. There we go. Give it an extra little bit. Okay, so now bend this back knee. We're gonna, supporting ourselves with our left hand, we're gonna reach around with our right and grab the foot. And we're pulling this foot over towards the right butt cheek. Now, simultaneously, I'm trying to keep this left front side of that hip pressing down towards the earth. Pause. All right. Now we're releasing the right arm. Keep the foot up. Switching arms, reaching around, grabbing with the left. Now we're going to take the hand to the inside of the foot and we're going to start to bring that foot slightly out, away from the body, lateral to the body. Again, we're pressing that thigh down as we're pulling the heel. Ha, really opening the front of that quad, that outer edge of it. Feel it right through here. Ha. Ha. Just a few more breaths. Wow. Feel that elongation taking place as you surrender. Like it reaches that point where it's like, ah, 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 and then it just goes, ah. It's like it remembers that it can. Ah. All right, so we're going to release the foot. Drop it back down to the earth. Bring both hands up. Nice deep breath, and we're going to come back into our plank. Ah. Now we're going to inhale the left knee up and in. Exhale, step it through, coming into the lunge. Again, we're walking that front foot forward slightly so that we can have the ankle slightly in front of the knee. We're going to position our pelvis, right, so we can find this way and our pelvis is torqued. So we're trying to find that nice, even position. Hop. Now, reaching through that heel, pressing into those toes. We're starting to drop this pubic bone down towards the earth, and we're lifting the chest. Try to keep this knee nice and even. You need to walk that foot forward just slightly. Go ahead. Reaching the heel, try to keep that leg nice and straight. Pubic bone is dropping down. Lifting the chest. Just holding as long as you can. And when you're ready, coming down to the knee. Make the toes flat. And we're going to extend this a bit. And we're continuing to drop the pelvis down. Drop the pelvis down. Lift that chest. And here comes the surrender. I wanna run, I wanna fight, I wanna flee. And surrender. Okay, now we're walking that foot over to the right. Coming down into pigeon. Coming out just slightly as we sit down. Just give it a little bit of a break. And then we're going to lift up a bit, reposition, get the knees slightly more under the body, that back knee, find our pelvic leveling, and then we're dropping down, taking that toe slightly back, dropping the thigh to the earth, coming into pigeon. Just taking a moment here, gentle rock. Very short, slight, very gentle. All right, now we're bending that back knee. I had to slide the thigh back a bit. Now, with the right hand planted, reaching back with the left, grabbing the foot, continuing to press that right, those hip flexors on the right, down towards the earth. And we're bringing this over to the left. Lift that chest. Feel that moment when everything is like, no, scary, afraid, freak out, run. And then that moment where it starts to surpass it. We push past that breaking point. And we stay with it. And we breathe and we allow it to surrender. And that fear dissipates. And the anger. And then we feel lighter. And that's where we're releasing that foot. Picking the heel up. Switching arms. Second weight into the left. So we're reaching to the inside of this foot. Grabbing it with our hands and we're taking it out. Slightly outside the body. We're pulling the heel towards the buttocks. Again, we're still trying to keep those hip flexors pressing down towards the earth. Here it comes. Lifting those ribs, opening up that heart. trusting it. Releasing that hand, allowing your foot to drop. Coming back to center, both hands planted, nice deep breath in. Exhale, coming back into your plank. And we're just gonna take a moment here. We're gonna just come in towards a down dog and just open up the backs of the legs. We've been opening up the front, and now it's like, just play with it. The squats feel happy. Much better, much better. All right, we're just gonna go back for a moment. Give it a little love. All right. Now here, we're gonna come to the wall. If you don't have a wall handy near you, if you have a chair or anything that you can place your leg up against, that will be handy. So what we're gonna do, and if you have a blanket or a towel or something, you might want something for a little extra cushion on the knee. If you have sensitive knees or something. So what we're doing, we're just coming to the wall, and we're gonna bend. Let's see. I'll start with the left so you can see it. And you're just taking the knee into that crease of the wall. You might want to take it out just slightly so that your kneecap isn't grinding into like the baseboard or something, right? All right. So right here, we're trying to get that ankle directly above the knee, so we're not taking it out or in, right? We're going to try to get a nice even line there. And with our hands, just roll on that out. That's working so great. All right, so we're going to step our right foot forward, like the lunge that we did earlier. We're taking the ankle in front of the knee, and we're just kind of walking that out. Again, right here, I like to lift the ribs up, lift the belly away from the thigh, and really get my pelvis nice and level as much as I can within my mind, what feels right in the body, and then I place myself back down. All right, now, again, here we go. We're dropping the pubic bone down towards the earth. Start to lift that chest, lifting up the heart. Maybe to walk that front foot out just a little bit further, and just keep it in front of the knee slightly as this elongates and drops open. Now I am supporting my outer thigh with my right arm in this position because my right thigh wants to drop out, right? It's the cheat, right? If I go like this, it doesn't hurt and I can get so much further, but I'm not actually doing anything any better and it's not in integrity. So I'm supporting my outer thigh with that arm to keep it from going out. And when doing so, I get a much better stretch and my pelvis is in greater integrity. And I'm not cheating. All right, now you're gonna come back. We're gonna take the hips back, and we're pulling this foot back. All right, so the buttocks is coming towards the heel. Now again, we're either directly on top or slightly in front. We're taking the elbow to the knee. Now we're pressing up, dropping that pelvis down. Oh, elongating, lifting those ribs. Oh. Now we're going to press up again. All the way up. We're taking our butt as much. I've got to scoot my knee slightly forward because my knee is grinding into the baseboard. All right. Now we're coming up, taking the butt back towards the heel. So I'm kind of pressing myself back and I'm lifting these ribs, rotating the pelvis backwards. So it's really elongating this quad. Again, here comes the fight. You kind of find that edge, and then you just surrender into it. Just relax. Don't push past the edge. And you feel it just start to. And the pain just starts to dissipate. How about that? How about that? Okay, now as that ends, just dropping back down. Now we can drop the knee. We can pull away from the wall. And just take a moment. Shake it out. Shake it out. Now I'm going to shake the other one just because it's been doing a lot of work. Okay. Switch sides. Right knee in towards the wall. Find that corner. Now take it out just slightly in case that baseboard is getting you. All right, and we're stepping the left foot through. Again, finding that balance, that tilt and torque. Trying to get the pelvis nice and level and level. All right, well, here we go. Dropping that pubic bone down towards the earth. Again, we're going to continue to walk that front foot out as we continue to drop. And again, I'm supporting this knee from dropping out by keeping my arm nice and stable. Lifting the chin, lifting those ribs, lifting that heart. Pubic bone down towards the earth. And there's the surrender. All right, coming up slightly, scooting that foot back. Now we're coming elbow to knee. Lifting the chest. You might need to support yourself slightly with the opposite hand. Dropping that pubic down towards the earth. Chest is lifted. One more phase. This time taking the butt all the way to the heel, stepping that foot back, raising all the way up. Butt is towards the heel, lifting up. All right, now this, see how this wants to flip forward, like the pelvis wants to tilt and bow the back to escape, right? And I can come all the way up here if I keep all of this torqued. Rotate the pelvis back. Tail nice and long. Ribs up and in. Now go back. Feel the difference? Cheat codes. We all have them, right? All right. Whew. There it is. I want to fight. I want to run. I want to flee. I want to, get me out of here. Surrender. Open up the heart. Trust it. Trust it. When the fight starts to dissipate. And the melt. All right. Now coming down. Coming down. Up the knee. Up the other knee. Step away from the wall. Shake it out. Shake it out. All right, again, any free movement your body feels like it needs after that. It's shifting different pieces of the body, right? Okay, we're gonna just come up to standing. We're gonna just shake it out a bit from standing. I have my head cut off here. We do a little camera adjust for this. Just shake those legs out. What time is it? Okay, so we're gonna try dancer from here. Scoot back just slightly. See if we can do this. Can we do it? We're gonna try. All right, so we're taking our feet outer hip width apart, or just like ankle under hip. Really grounding through the feet, four corners. Sinking into the earth. Then we're going to take our weight over to the right foot. We did this last week, possibly week before, or this time, where we're doing the dip, right? So it's very similar. We're taking all the weight over to the right. All right, now we're going to begin to bend this back leg. Reaching back with the left arm, and we're just relaxing. Your hands got the foot, quad is released, grounding through this right foot. Now here we're going to begin to press the foot into the palm. Notice that it immediately, feel that? All right, here we go. Pressing into that palm and pulling the foot with the hand simultaneously. We're bending forward, taking that right arm straight out in front of us. Keep pressing Keeping the balance. Find that focal point in front of you. Keep the eyes focused, grounding, and we're pressing into that palm, pressing into that palm. And release when you're ready. All right. As close as I can get on that side today. Get it. All right, that's a start. That's more than a start. Over there, over there. Shake that out. When you're ready, we're going to do left side. We're almost ready for Shavasana. We're almost ready. Okay. This time, taking the weight, really grounding through that left foot. Taking the weight over into the left. Try to go through this a little bit faster so we're not hanging out so long. Bending that back foot. Pressing into the palm while pulling the foot at the same time with the hand. We're leaning forward as we press, press, press. Whoop, and I'm losing my balance. It's really hard to talk that out and keep the focus. All right. Continue forward, continue forward. Try to keep that pelvis nice and level. All right. Ending when you end. You want to try it again, feel free. Shaking it out. Do you feel the energy flowing through those quads though now? You feel the fire burning? I'm sweating. Yes, the fiery rage, right? Just released so much of that. So if you're feeling the heat, it will do it. If you're ever cold, release the quads. It will light you on fire. All right. So from here, we're going to come into Shavasana. I highly recommend legs up the wall because working with the legs and the pelvis and doing all of that, we could easily throw the sacrum out or throw the pelvis slightly out of alignment if we're not totally in integrity, which is easy to do. So highly recommend coming to a wall or a chair or anything that you got you can prop your legs up on and taking the legs off the wall and just surrender into it. If you don't have a wall handy, you've got a chair or a bed, you can just place the lower portion of the legs on the chair. I believe you can do it. So coming into stillness, feeling the earth beneath you, feeling that pelvis sink in, feeling that energy moving through the lower portion of the legs, moving up through that power center into the heart space. Newfound freedom. Freedom to move, freedom to be without fear. The anger, the fire, we've soothed it a bit, right? Now we can move freely from the heart space without this resistance. So we're sinking in as the breath begins to soften, the rest of the body begins to soften. And with that fiery energy, I'm going to do a little bit of a drumming as you drift off. Thank you for joining me today. Feel free to move at your own pace, remaining in Shavasana as long as you would like. Do move gently when you come out. Allow yourself the time and the space to regroup. And I hope that you enjoy your newfound freedom in the lower portion of the body. And may your heart be open, maybe free of fear. And free to move in your highest divinity of the truest version of self through this journey of life. Namaste.